Welcome to Silicon Valley Unplugged, the future of drone racing. I'm Leah Stam with Sparknify, here to explore the intersection of creativity, technology, intelligence, automation, and everything in between. In this episode, I'll be sitting down with a few of the Bay Area drone racers to hear how they got into the sport, what they've accomplished, the technical skills behind the scenes, and yes, we'll even get into some of the bigger questions about where this is all headed as technology keeps evolving. So I'm so excited to have you all here, like I said, whether you're a drone enthusiast, a curious newcomer, or just here for the thrill of what is next in tech-powered sports, you're in the right place. And if you've been here before at one of our last month's show, or if you haven't, I'm also probably a new face. I just recently joined Sparknify. The whole human versus AI tagline that we've got, that reeled me in. I love that shit. I'm a UC Berkeley grad, like John said. Go Bears? Anyone? Okay, I see a wave in the back. So I study cognitive science and data science, which is really just a fancy way of saying I spent 4 years trying to figure out how the mind works because I have no idea what to do with mine, hence why I'm here. Now I try to keep up with all things tech, especially where it collides with creativity and the future. So drone racing has exploded in recent years, not just as a high-speed spectator sport, but as a cutting-edge blend of innovation, engineering, community, and today we're diving into where this field's headed. From advancements in FPV technology and AI-assisted flight, to growing accessibility and the rise of global racing leads. We're lucky to be joined by some of the most inspiring figures shaping this space, people who are not only racing at incredible speeds, but reimagining what is possible with drones. So first off, we've got someone who's been flying fast and fierce for nearly a decade. He's a leader in the Bay Area drone scene, organizing multi-GP events with everything from featherweight 20-gram racers to 10-pound beasts. He also runs a drone shops part to support local pilots and educational programs around the world. Oh. And I will welcome Tim Germanov. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? And what do you have for us here, Tim?
Actually, the video you just seen, right? That's about the AR, the Aerial Elite Racing League. This is the big 11-inch drone that we were used to kind of try to showcase. I can repeat. Plug it in.
And what do you have for us here?
Hey, it's actually one of the 11-inch drones that you just seen on the video, right? That we were used to showcase AR, Aerial Elite Drone Racing League. And it's our attempt to kind of push into real racing that's spectator friendly, right? Because for the most recent years, 7-8 years, we've been flying much smaller drones, and it's really hard to see those little flies, zipping around. And we're trying to change that, right? To get into more like what can a human being try to catch when you're flying, right? So a lot of LEDs, this growling sound of V8, V12 is what we're trying to achieve. That's what we got.
Very cool. All right, next we have a legend in the drone racing world joining us. As founder of the Aerial Elite Racing Drone Racing Organization, he's known on the circuit as Fairy. He brings together his background as a pilot, designer, and musician to blend the high-speed flight with cutting-edge tech, turning it into an art form that pushes creativity and technical limits. Please help me welcome the incredible pilot and creator, John Gazer.
Hello, hello.
How are you feeling tonight?
Pretty good. How you feeling? How's Silicon Valley doing out there? Ooh, tepid. Let's try one more time. How you doing? How's Silicon Valley? Okay, a little better, a little better.
And what do you have for us?
This is also one of the rigs that we use to shoot the promo. Like Tim talked about, we are actively trying to create a new racing league that solves what we hope is about 10 problems of the 6 or 7 other racing leagues we've been flying in over the last 8 or 9 years.
Big ambitions.
Big ambitions.
All right. Our next panelist keeps busy not only as a racer of the drones, but also of the planes. The student pilot helped lay the foundations for the drone racing scene we know today. His expertise isn't only with flying the drones, but also engineering and the code behind it. Please help me welcome the incredible pilot and creator, Bryson Hagerman.
Hello.
It's smaller than the others.
This is true. We wanted to try and give a nice balanced perspective. It's not always about the big and the bright and the colorful. But this is another side of, FPV drone flying for cinematography, for commercials, for, production shoots. It's a very small, lightweight drone, federally compliant, all the important things,
Very nice, very nice. All right, and last but not least, our final panelist is someone who has helped lay the foundation. Is this the same one? No, it's not. Okay. Last but not least, our final panelist is the co-founder of Space Monkey Films and has launched the Bay Area's first drone racing league. These days, he's at the forefront of cinematic drone work, setting a new standard for FPV filmmaking in the Bay Area and beyond. Please welcome to the stage, Colby Curtola.
Check. Hello.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm Colby Curtola. I've been drone racing for almost 10 years now. Yeah, 2015 was kind of when it kicked off. Very first days flying on Treasure Island. If you guys know the Bay Area, Treasure Island was kind of a drone-friendly area where we could go and test, and kind of that was where the roots of racing started in the Bay Area. And from there, raced on TV, on Drone Racing League, on ESPN, DR1 Racing, and Eurosport in Europe. And nowadays, I'm more on the league organization side with these guys, and also doing race commentary for various leagues. So I'm semi-retired, but still competitive. It's a young kid sport for sure. I'd say like 12 to 16 is like prime age for drone racing.
I see some of those ages out in the audience. A couple. I'm looking at them right now. Maybe they'll be interested after the show. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. I'll get into it with just a general question, opening up about how you guys got into drone racing, whether that was an experience, a person, something of the sort. Tim, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my first experience, I think I've seen somebody on YouTube flying a drone just over the trees and like in between the mountains, like fly like a bird. And I remember that immersive feeling, like you're in there, you're a bird, and you can reach the heights that no human being can. And I kept watching those videos for a whole day. I think I spent like 7 hours, 7 hours. And then okay, I'm in. And then I built my first drone, then came to Sunnyvale Baylands Park, met these guys, and since then I've been into drone racing. I mean, we're practicing every weekend. I'm every weekend there for the last 8-9 years.
Very nice. That's very poetic. The bird through the trees, through the mountains.
Thank you. I was going to ask about that.
All right, John, and you? How you got into it?
Yeah, I actually had kind of a different route. I've been working in technology a long time. I used to work for Sony Electronics, and about 2012, 2013, I was on a team that was looking into kicking off like a cinematography division to create camera drones, because Sony's always been really big in the sort of B2B camera space with things like rigs for the Olympics or big sports or whatever. And then it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun to do that for work. And then time went by, and a friend of mine I was doing that with, I kind of dropped off, and then he kept on with the drone scene. And at some point, he reached out to me when we were both moved up here to the San Francisco Bay Area, and he was like, "Oh, you have to try this thing." He's like, "You fly the drone, you put these goggles on your head, you see through the drone while you're flying." And I'm like, "Why would you want to do that? That sounds weird." And like, we like, because when I thought of drones, like when we were building those, and a lot of the ones you see, you fly it and you're looking at it with your eyes, and it's like, "Oh, cool, okay, I'm flying the drone." Then after about 10 minutes, you're like, "Okay, that's it. It just sits there." You get pretty bored pretty fast. And so I tried this thing. I went out with my friend, was flying in the simulator a lot first to get used to it. Maybe like 10, 20 hours in the simulator. And then he gave me his controller, started flying around the park, and I was like instantly hooked. It was like your brain teleports you in and you're flying around the park. And I was like, so 9 years later, I'm still going out every, as much as I can, at least once every couple weeks, once a month to like practice and fly with these guys. And it's like, every time I put the goggles on and take off, it's like flying for the first time. It's like you have this out-of-body experience where you're just like zipping around. It's pretty magical.
Wow, that's very cool. Bryson?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar to Tim. I feel like a lot of us got our first exposure through one YouTube video or another. There was a European race through the trees, and I had always been into kind of RC planes and destroying RC planes and RC cars and destroying RC cars, and understanding that, yeah, you could maybe astral project into one of these things and get a first-person view when you crash into the wall was pretty appealing. So yeah, bought some parts, built my first drone, destroyed my first drone, bought some more parts, destroyed my second drone, and then around the third or fourth, met up with these guys and started figuring out how not to crash into everything, which is first lesson you learn.
What number are you at now?
We don't need to talk about that, it's okay.
We should have brought one of the old drones or put a video up of what 2015 drone racing looks like compared to 2025 is mind-blowing.
Yeah, yeah.
What does it look like?
I mean, we were just literally going like 5 miles per hour. The cameras were flat back then.
The cameras
so
are
the
big.
cameras were flat, so the camera angle determines how fast you go. So now we're like at like 60 degrees. So the drones when they're flying, they're flying basically vertical. But back in the day, we were so slow that we just fly like a flat camera angle.
And the quality has changed a lot too over the years. Like I don't know if this thing's on.
I think your mic just died.
My mic is dead. The quality. This mic is also dead. Oh, maybe they're turning them on and off. Yeah. So over the years, the quality's changed. Is what I was saying. Like when back in the day when we were flying, like Colby was talking about. Not only was it really slow and the camera angle was flat, the cameras were giant because they hadn't really been miniaturized yet. And they also looked like the video quality was like if you picture like a 1960s like rabbit ear television with like static and you can't really see anything. So we've gone from that to like what now is like 1920, 1080, like 90 frames per second HD video. So it's a pretty big update.
I guess my intro to drone racing was probably the same video that you watched, the French guys in the forest. Yeah, so I was like a Star Wars fan growing up, and they made this video that was kind of like a Star Wars themed video where they're recreating the speeder bike scene from was it Return of the Jedi? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I saw that and I was just like, whoa.
Yes, speeder bikes is what hooked me
was
too.
cool.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, we used to actually fly. When we first started racing, we did a lot of forest racing. I think it was probably because of that video. And then we broke too much stuff because we were running into trees. So then we went out to open grass fields.
Now we build gates out of PVC, and that usually breaks first, which is nice.
Okay, I have one more little add-on of why I got into this, which is like, I want to say like 12, 10, 11 years ago, I saw a video on the internet my buddy showed me. He's like, oh, look at this crazy video. This guy's flying this drone in the park, and he crashes it, and he kind of loses it. But he can still see the video because he's got the goggles. And then somebody like picks up the drone, and they put it under their shirt. And they're like walking around, and then the person with the goggles, they go and they find it. And they're like, hey, we know you have this drone. Like, why are you hiding this drone? And she's like, no, I don't. She's like, I'm going to call the cops. You were flying out here. And then they're like, we're going to call the cops on you. You're stealing that's our property. Like, we're allowed to fly out here. And then it turned out like 3 years later, that was Colby's video. I met him 3 years later. But that video I'd seen 3 years before. I was like, this is so crazy. And then I just happened to be running into him now.
Yeah, lady steals drone. If you, lady steals drone. If you want to YouTube it, it's pretty funny.
So, like you were talking about the community, right? I feel like from what I've heard, it's a community of a mixed bag of people, right? It's kind of gaming and hackers and a lot of DIY. Obviously, you have to have at least a little bit of background knowledge, even if that's self-taught in engineering, maybe a little CS. What do you guys see in the community? I know you said there's a lot of young kids these days. Who are the people that are involved?
Can I take a little bit of that? What I wanted to say that in my bubble in the Bay Area, all my friends are software engineers because I'm a software engineer, and everybody is enterprise somehow related with IT. And FPV drone racing let me feel that there are other people in the world that they can be, working on the construction site, or somebody can drive a truck and still fly a drone, right? So you meet different people from different areas. That's expanding your vision in general, which is kind of cool. Age-wise, as you said, top 20, 30 pilots in the world, or in the US at least, are below 25 years old. Can I say that? So I think we are here within top 40, 60 in the US, speed-wise. But there's no way we can crawl the way up, right? Because of reaction time, how quickly you pick up skills. Because I'm training consistently every weekend, every other weekend. I'm training, and I cannot catch up with the kids. So there is, probably like a barrier.
They'll get old at some point too, though, Tim.
So what happens is they go to
We'll
college,
be waiting.
and I was there already. So they kind of bail. We don't see them anymore, and I'm still there. So.
Oh, I see. So I feel like you four are like the OG drone racers. Is that what I'm hearing?
In the future, I see myself maybe 5-10 years from now to be a kids coach. So I can totally be a drone racing coach. I know exactly how to teach kids to fly, what lines to pick, what kind of behavior to pick at the race, right? Do you have to be consistent, or you have to push? How to fight with the nerves, how to eat well right before the race, get enough sleep, etc., and like how to train effectively.
Is there a market for that?
So there were no drone jobs 3 years ago, annually paid, like that you would get hired to fly a drone. Right now, Hollywood is swarmed with this kind of offerings. Any of us can go and get this job.
Colby, do you want to talk on that?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to get hired by Hollywood.
I guess more. Do you want to talk about Space Monkey at all?
Yeah, I mean, we do more local stuff here. We actually had a video. I don't know if they can throw it on while I'm talking, but it was just a video kind of showing all the different applications that drones have kind of found their way into with filming. We've flown through SFO Airport, through the terminal to get video footage for them for their website, for their new remodel. We flew through like Chase Center, so it's taken me all these like really cool experiences. We did a video for Mark Rober's YouTube channel a couple times. He's brought us out to do some crazy stuff with them. So it's just it's cool to see how they're definitely like mainstream now. Like a couple of years ago, it was still hard to convince customers to introduce FPV drones into their content, but now it's kind of it's out there now, and everyone kind of expects to see it.
Yeah, I think to connect it back to like all these cool kinds of jobs and shoots you can do, back to what Tim was saying, is this idea that like is there a market for this, like kids coming up and learning how to do this thing? I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger because, like you said, everybody expects it now. And if you look at like, I don't know, I want to say like 90% of this top tier of filmers that are doing this crazy stuff, a lot of them start from racers. I don't know if you've seen the movie Ambulance, but it's like Michael Bay movie where they did crazy stuff, and our friend Alex Vanover is a guy we raced with, and he was a racer first for like years and years and years before going to Hollywood. Same thing with, there's just a bunch of people we know that have ended up, and now they shoot the Super Bowl and they get flown out to like car races, and the reason that they can do this and they're so skilled and so reliable is because they spent years and years flying these things at high speed, racing against each other, trying to do this without crashing. So it really develops as a specialized skill. So it's kind of like a secret cinema training course, I guess, built into racing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see if we can check out the video. Hey, Chanel.
So yeah, this drone here, this little guy, this is what I used typically for filming. And if you believe it or not, there's actually a GoPro 14 inside of here. So the camera on the bottom is what we see with our goggles, and then the lens on top, that's the cinema camera, the GoPro, and then the GoPro body is just taken apart and it's inside of the frame. So that's what you have to do these days to get to be legal, basically, to fly over people. So we use this for concerts, sporting events, all that kind of stuff, and it gets 4K footage.
Yeah, by legal you mean because of the weight limit, right? You have
The
to be
weight
un-
limit,
you
yeah,
have to be
sub
under 250 grams.
Yeah,
There's like a weight.
This one you could not fly over people.
Slightly
That's
over.
more than 250 grams.
It's about 5 pounds.
250 paper clips. But it's actually pretty cool. I mean, you didn't really go into it very much, but you had to fully custom take apart the GoPro and like rewire it and integrate it with the guts of the drone.
Yeah, I
It's-
mean
it's-
they're basically like
it's
I
pretty
always
neat if you
call
wanna
them
see
like
it.
little hot rods because you buy the parts from like all these different stores and kind of get a vision in your head of what you want to build, and then you kind of put the motors on, the powertrain, decide what you want to use for propellers, which would be like the wheels of the car. You want like more like speed or more endurance, and so it's kind of fun to spec it out like a little hot rod.
Very cool. What's this big one used for?
This was an old racing league that was started in the Bay Area back in the day. Was it
Should we talk about X Class? We have one of the founders that's sitting right here. There was these
Kelvin
few founders
Lamb
that-
in the house?
He- they were the
This
first
was,
ones to popularize
yeah,
big
this was
drone
the
racing.
X-Class League, and this was like kind of peak drone racing for me. This was when we used to race these guys around racetracks, like up in Antioch, in front of like a few thousand spectators. So it's probably like the most spectated drone racing events that we did, and it was crazy. It was crazy. It was probably looking back pretty sketchy, flying 4 of these things like around a racetrack, like 120 miles per hour.
99 miles per hour.
Fires everywhere and collisions, and people loved it.
Yeah, the audience loved it though. That was a great.
They
event.
love the crashes, right?
But yeah, it just got too like that thing's so expensive. So
Yeah, this is probably like a $5,000 drone.
Thank you for sharing. Is there any?
No, maybe just a comment that it was a promo video for event called International Open that happens every year in Muncie, Indiana. In
Put on by MultiGP.
MultiGP.
Our
It's
friends.
the biggest, how we call it, drone summer camp of the year. It's a 5-day event and 24/7 flying. It's the event we've been waiting every year. Like you can't even imagine the excitement. I'm so excited.
I can't imagine. Do you guys all go to that?
Pretty much usually. Everybody's missed 1 or 2 years across the
it's
board.
in Muncie,
but,
Indiana, so it's
yeah,
not
the locale is
really a destination.
I'm from Ohio.
But
Yeah,
it's
what-
just hard to
Midwest.
get. I didn't mean that. I meant it's hard to get to in the summer.
Yeah, it's just expensive
The
airfare.
flight cancellations are pretty common in that part of the country.
I see.
Yeah, but no, it's a great excuse for all the American pilots to fly out and then just get roundly destroyed by all of the international pilots. I don't think we've had a victor in the last like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, if there's any prospects in the audience, we could really use some help out there.
Where do the winners come from?
This
Was
year
it
was
France
this year was
a
Yuki.
year ago, and then Yuki this year?
I think Yuki won. Oh no, Killian won last
Yeah,
year.
so
Japan,
France,
South Korea.
Japan, South Korea was taking us to the cleaners for a few years in a row.
Yeah, it was the South Korean national champion, then the French national champion, and now the Japanese national champion. So it just depends on which national champion shows up.
Yeah, they're
and
coming
beats
to
us.
the US, just like destroying everybody and walking away with the prize.
All right. Any of you guys have any last comments, stories, funny little tidbits you want to share with the crowd?
I mean, I wanted to show the film reel, but I don't know if we had. Do we not have that? Okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm just gonna show them kind of the cinematic side of this, because that's what I do now, is like transition from racing into more like work-related stuff with drones.
Talk us through it.
I mean, yeah, I kind of explained it, but basically doing a lot of like small to medium size like filming jobs. A lot of like real estate is pretty booming right now for like drone footage. Obviously, it's a little saturated. Like the filming market's pretty saturated now, so like prices have gone down pretty aggressively. But yeah, like doing like car commercials and anything like where you need like high speed, like sports and that kind of stuff. So
I always wondered how they filmed those, and now I know.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was
guys.
Colby in the driver's seat. So
It's like going to art school and then getting a real job. We're still in art school.
yeah,
whereas
he
has
actually
graduated.
has
you
matriculated.
guys all have real jobs.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
Yeah,
Kind of as an extension to that, I mean, the cinematography angle is huge, but I also wanted to talk about, the drones and the racing is very fun, but it's, it's just silly because we enjoy it, and there are still other applications where I think, like John was talking about, the AI and the drone and the human kind of intersect in a nice way. We have a friend who's unfortunately stopped racing recently, but that's because he went off to go fly drones in Patagonia, where they're doing geospatial data collection for forestry management, and I have childhood friends back on the Big Island who are flying drones for their volcanology program. Similar situations, an active volcano is a little novel. You can't really trust AI to fly around perfectly, and they need somebody in the pilot seat for those kinds of things as well. And it's immensely cheaper than hiring a helicopter, which is what you always had to do in the past. So
Okay, that reminds me of my favorite non-racing application ever. We had this Kelvin here in the audience put on this drone expo up in Treasure Island where all kinds of drones, these big agriculture drones were there, and he was showing us this agriculture drone. They were talking about how there's like a very specialized industry where they can load it. It's like bigger than this stage. They can load it up with stuff and fly it over crops to like help the crops. And they were saying, oh, there's like this one person that they specialize in Napa Valley helping the grapes. And what they do is they fill these giant containers with ladybugs. And they go and they just release ladybugs into grape fields. And I'm like, that could be my future. It's amazing.
Loading ladybugs in the container.
Scooping them in. I mean, it just sounds magical. Just releasing ladybugs into the world. Like that's the kind of drone future
like
I'm looking
half of those
for.
things are getting chopped by the propellers, right?
No, they're under. They're
hush,
below.
hush, 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 hush.
Don't spoil my dream. It's my dream, Colby.
Tim, anything else you want to add?
I'd probably add that the Bay Area, I think, is the very unique place where you can get that mix of technology, innovation, and I've never met so many smart people ever in my life, and I think it's a very good combination where you need mechanical engineering, software, right? Because there's a whole software world of it, like how you tune it, how you program it. Soldering and building, you've heard already, I like to break stuff and I like to fix it, then break, then fix. If I come out of the weekend without breaking a drone, I feel like something didn't work and I need to come back and maybe fly faster next time.
You weren't trying hard enough.
I wasn't, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I think that's it, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone here. Thanks for coming. Thank you, hosts. Thank you, panels, everyone. So thank you for watching Silicon Valley Unplugged. A huge thank you to our incredible guests, our panelists for sharing their insights, experiences, and vision, and to you, our audience, for tuning in and staying curious. This episode was brought to you by Sparknify, where we explore the edge of human creativity and technological innovation. If you have questions, thoughts, or just want to keep the conversation going, feel free to reach out. We love to hear from you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep building, and stay curious. Thank you.